Good morning. It is 6:30 a.m. I don't expect to see any of my friends until at least lunchtime because I am getting a way head start for them. They haven't even started eating breakfast yet. Most of them still have their tents up. So I had service at my tent site and I just like casually checked the weather and I saw it was supposed to be in the 90s today. And then I was like, oh no, and then I got ready really fast. So I want to try to get as much hiking done in the cool morning as possible and then take a longer lunch break and then take it slow from there. The plan today is 19 miles. Might be a little crowded there. There's 6 of us and it says there's spots for 4 to 5, but if I have to cowboy, I'm willing to do that. But if I get there first, maybe I get a good campsite. But anyways, I just wanted to get going and have as much cool as possible because it was just in the 80s yesterday. And we were lucky because it started raining like in the middle of the day and we had cloud cover there. But when the clouds weren't there, like in the afternoon, like it was hot. Like the sun was like uncomfortable. Like it wasn't just the fact that the air was hot, like the sun was like, it felt like it was burning my skin even though I had sunscreen on. So yeah, I just want to hike as much as possible right now. The terrain is like flat in the beginning, then down 1,000, then up 1,000, then down, and then like down 3,000. So we're mostly going down today, which means it's gonna get hotter and hotter. But the beginning is starting pretty easy. Dang, my legs are so long in this sun. That ought to mean that I should make fast miles, right? With these. It's comical. Oh man. So even though yesterday I was so convinced I was bringing way more than enough water along, it ended up being just barely enough dash. I might have to skimp a tiny bit. I'm down to 3/4 of a liter for 6 miles till the next water source. Partly I just drank way more at camp than I'm used to. Probably got more dehydrated than I realized. And I also had a ramen bomb, which is ramen and mashed potatoes and like any kind of seasoning you want. And that uses like almost a whole liter, like it's like 3/4 of a liter. So yeah, so I've got about 3/4 of a liter for 6 miles. So it's also good that it's cool. But then obviously I'll camel up a little bit once I get to the next water source. Hello views. So a lot of the gut hooks comments say that the trail is super overgrown in a few miles and you're supposed to wear long pants to avoid cutting up your legs. Yeah, that's not happening. It's too hot. Guess we're gonna get some cuts today and it begins. So I'm not 100% positive, but I believe these are all wasps' nests. They make like little balls. One thing I forgot to mention. So we're planning on 19 miles today because there's a good campsite there. But in 15 miles, there's a ranger station. And apparently, if you find the ranger, he will sell you chips for $1 and soda for $1 and maybe even hot dogs. But only if you run into him. So suffice to say, I am going to hunt him down. I really want soda and I want to find him and I'm going to buy it from him. Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. I'm gonna find you and buy your soda. There's already like 40 gnats all flying around my face and it's 7:30. I'm not even that sweaty yet. This could be a bad day as far as flies. It is 8:15 and it is already getting quite warm. Done like 5.5 or something like that. And in another half a mile is our first water source. So I'm gonna fill up because I have less than half a liter left at this point. And I'm also gonna eat breakfast there. That requires some water. So it's the perfect time to take a break. It'll be my first break. So it's funny, sometimes my feet start twinging me a little bit and I'm like, hey, like I don't like it. And then I realize, oh, I now do 6 to 8 miles without taking a break, when in the past I've had to take a break every 2 miles. So you just have to remember the improvements. It's apparently only 75 degrees so far, although it gets up into the 80s in the next hour or so. It does not feel like the 70s. It definitely feels hotter. It's gonna be a real desert day today. None of this rain and hail we've been having. Come back, rain and hail. Okay, these ones hurt a little bit. And on my arms. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I hike. The sun is really hot. This is why I'm hot. It's sweaty to walk a lot while it is hot. It's sweaty. Sweaty, 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 sweaty. It's sweaty to walk a lot while it is hot. It's sweaty. Sweaty, 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 sweaty. Wow. Every day we still encounter new kinds of flowers. Now that is a really, really big tree stump. And for scale. Dash, I can't get far enough away to show that. Alrighty, it is 10:15. I have walked 9 miles and I have officially reached the high point for today, which means it is all downhill from here. Even though the temperatures are quite warm and only getting warmer, it's nice to know that at least I'm not going to be putting a ton of cardio energy into it, since I have gravity to help me down. So I think that'll help me stay a little cooler too, rather than having to go uphill in the heat of the day. We just passed over a ridge, or over a pass I suppose, and now we have a totally different view. Look over there, it's just like a blanket of stratus clouds. Looks like an ocean of clouds. Oh my goodness. I just came the closest to breaking myself that I have yet on trail. I somehow managed to completely sideways get onto my ankle, and it would have broken. I think it would have broken if it would have taken all my weight, but I managed to, it wasn't even me, it was just subconscious reaction, threw my weight onto the other foot, and then I just stood there for 10 seconds composing myself, because nothing happened. I'm fine. I can feel my outside tendons just a little bit, but I think I would have broken my ankle if I would have put my full body weight onto that foot. Holy moly. That's the thing with hiking, you take so many steps, there are so many opportunities for something to go wrong, and obviously your body is pretty good about trying to avoid them, but it can happen in a split instant. Wow, that woke me up. I just saw a bee swarm, when they follow their queen. That was actually really cool. Normally I don't like being near bees at all, but they were 10 to 15 feet away from me, so I felt safe and they weren't going my direction. And it was really cool, and I also know that they're not dangerous during that time, but there were so many bees. They're all following each other. It was cool. So this panicked me for a second when I saw this, but I want some more water, but I can actually hear it up there, so you just have to climb up a little bit. Oh gosh, there's bees! Sorry. I just went from cool bees to crap bees. There are so many of them at this water source, and they're curious. So like as soon as I went close to the water, I had like 7 of them all flying around me. So I escaped. I'm sitting in the shade like a little ways off from the water, and I'm gonna like filter my water here because I still have some in my unfiltered water, and then like, I don't know, run and get more water. Oh gosh, there's a bee. I'm gonna die. The bees seem to think my pack is a flower. This is like the 7th bee that has very closely inspected this particular spot of my pack. They're leaving me alone right now. And I'll just have to be careful when I put my pack on again. Also, what is this? It's huge and doesn't look like a spider. It has huge antennas. My pack is getting attacked by bugs. Okay, I survived. That was really intense, and I was honestly scared, like for real scared. I was like praying the entire time when I filled up with water because it was like a trickle, so it was going really slow. It took like 2 or 3 minutes, and the whole time there's like 10 bees just like flying all around me. And then I make it back to my pack. There's just like 4 bees that are just like, they love my pack. There's some that are like lapping water from the edge of my water bottles, and other ones, and they're like not leaving even if I'm shaking my pack. So then I had to walk like 20 yards with me just like awkwardly holding it in one hand on one strap because there was no bees there. Then, once I was 20 yards away, I realized I had forgotten my trekking poles. So then I had to walk all the way back, get them, get swarmed again. I run this time with my pack on 20 yards. Anyway, suffice to say, I survived. I don't think in any of this that the bees were malignant or trying to get me. They were just looking for water and stuff. I just happen to be allergic, so it's a little bit traumatizing when there are dozens and dozens and dozens of bees by a water source that won't leave you alone. I was supposed to take a break there, but obviously now I haven't. Gone 11 miles already. I guess I might as well keep pushing 4 more miles to the ranger station. It's about maybe 10:45 right now. So it'll be a late lunch if I get there, and I'll have done most of my miles for the day already. But unless I find an amazing spot, it seems like it's worth pursuing a soda for lunch. So I think I'm gonna try to go 4 more miles. All right, I can't remember what I said earlier, but I do know that I was totally off on my time estimate. It's later than I thought. Right now it's noon, and I have 3 miles to go, so even if I make my best time, I'll get there at 1, but more likely after 1. If I see a good break spot before then, I'll be very tempted to do that instead. Look, there's just this little gopher in the trail. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Crater just passed me, and normally I can hear him or anybody else of the guys who pass me coming, and I'll just step to the side. This time, I was totally oblivious, and he didn't say anything until he was right behind me. He just kind of like sniffed, like, so all of a sudden I just hear like a, and I spun around, and I swear he almost got gutted with my trekking poles because I went full on fight mode of just like, I'm getting attacked. But luckily I recognized him. It is for real the heat of the day now. It is sweltering. There's not very much wind. Every once in a while, well, actually right here there's a little bit of a breeze, but most of the time there isn't. And it's really hot. I can't wait to get out of the sun. Still have about 45 minutes of hiking left. At this rate, I'm gonna be so disappointed if we can't find that ranger, because I am just dreaming of soda. Like, what kind of soda, but like how many? Like at this point I think like probably want 2 sodas. Oh, I really hope that ranger's there. I'm almost jogging downhill. I did stop briefly though because I was developing a hot spot on my toe. I was definitely tempted to be like, just push through, I'll fix it later. And I'm like, nope, this is not worth it. Not worth it, even for a soda. So I put some tape on it. It's not great. I still need to do a better job when I get there, but I'm hoping it does the trick for right now. I can see it right there. Once I get there, I'm gonna need to take some serious electrolytes because I am pushing myself hard and sweating like crazy to get there. Feeling pretty overheated, but I'm so close. It's like 0.2, 0.3 away. It's 1 o'clock right now, so I've done almost 3 miles in an hour. It'll be just a few minutes late, getting a tiny bit queasy, but I'm so close. And then I'm gonna take over an hour break. I'm gonna have electrolytes, and it's gonna be great. There's just no point stopping right now, and it has everything that I need, so I need to get there.
What other cookies?
Oh my goodness, I just had 2 sodas and throwing it away right now. Cheetos. It was the best thing ever. I feel totally restored. Got to sit inside with air conditioning for a little bit and talked with Ron. It was so the ranger is actually a volunteer. His name is Ron, and he's amazing. He does this just for hikers. Like basically, he volunteers here just so that he can basically have water available for us, and like he also sells the sodas for the facilities and stuff like that. But he's so amazing. Thank you so much, Ron. Apparently he's also like a triple crowner or something like that. He said he's done all of the trails, so that's pretty cool. I am having a pepperoni and goldfish tortilla, which is pretty good. And I'm very torn. There's a part of me that wants to hike all the way to the KOA, which is in 8 more miles, since it's still before 2, so I could totally do that still. That would be a 24-mile day. The other part of me thinks it's just so dang hot and I just want to spend all day here and then hike the remaining 4 miles that I was supposed to do. We'll see which side wins. Okay, decision made after eating dinner, after lunch. I looked at Gut Hooks, and the store that's at the KOA, they close at 5 today. And really the only reason I would push so many miles is to get ice cream. And I could theoretically make it to the KOA by 5, but it would be hard and I would barely make it in time. Not worth it. I will do just 19 miles today, and then I can get ice cream tomorrow morning, because ice cream is great in the morning. Alright, new plan once again. We're gonna try to make it to the KOA. I talked it over with Dirty Harry and Crater, who are the only 2 of our group besides me who were at that break spot already. I think the others took an earlier break and are out of the sun, so aren't here yet. But we decided to push for KOA after all for a few reasons. Number 1, store might be open till 8 p.m. because summer hours are different from regular hours. That's not confirmed. I'm not going to get my hopes up. Definitely not pushing for a 5 p.m. time because that would just kill me. But maybe if I get there, I can have ice cream. Number 2, there's a lot of people we know that are pushing for the 19-mile campsite, and there's only like 4 or 5 spots there. So I think it'll be more helpful if 3 of us would keep pushing. I don't think the others would make it all the way to KOA still today. Also, if we just go to that campsite, we're gonna get there at like 3 or 4 and be bored for the rest of the day. There's not a lot of shelter there, so we'd just be hot. So it just makes sense to keep walking. There's a pool at the KOA. Lots of good reasons to try to make it to the KOA. Plus, let's say I walk 4 miles, my feet are really killing me. I can just stay at the other campsite like was the original plan, or I can push 4.5 more miles from there. But yeah, anyways, my plan is to just take it easy. I will take lots of breaks to make sure that I don't overheat. The terrain is all downhill or flat, so that should also help with that. And yeah, we're gonna try to make 24 miles, which is more than I've ever done. Even on day hikes, I haven't done that. I've done 22 before on a day hike, but I've never done 24, so let's see if I can do it. definitely still very, very hot. And I am still technically hiking in the heat of the day. It's 2:30 right now. So we took an 1.5-hour break. But I have 3 liters of water along for the 8.5 miles it's going to take to get there. Plus there's another water source in 4 miles. And I have Gatorade powder in my thing. And I'm going to take some shade breaks when I can. So I think I'll be okay. Definitely feeling the hot spots a little bit. So gonna have to stop for that too. But I think I got this. Alright, so I'm 2 miles in, so 2 more miles till the original campsite, 6 more miles to KOA. My body is still feeling really, really good. Muscles and feet feel great, probably partly because it is so hot. They are very loose. Biggest danger for doing this many miles now is definitely the heat. So I definitely do need to watch out for that. I do think that I'm capable of it, and since I grew up in the Central Valley, I've spent my entire life exercising in the heat. It gets like 110 there. So I do think I know my body pretty well and know when it's getting dangerous or know when I need to stop. There's a decent amount of shade that I can sit in. I think every 3 miles or so I'm probably gonna take a sitting break, and in 2 miles is when I get to the water source. And I have a few tricks up my sleeve as far as, you know, when you like wet your shirt and stuff, that really helps to cool you down. Not by putting your shirt into the water source, of course, but you can take unfiltered water and just pour it over it. But yeah, so keep updating you on my biggest day yet, on the hottest day yet, because that's a great idea during the heat of the day. It's fine. It's fine. All right, taking my first break. I'm only a mile away from the water source, but I'm not positive. I think there might not be shade there. This is really cool shade. The way the trees are, this has been in the shade for a while, so it's really nice down here. So I'm gonna sit here for 5 to 10 minutes just to cool off a little bit, and then I'll keep going. Still feeling pretty decent. I sat super close to Poison Oak. I sat right here. My pack was right here. I don't think I touched it, but I don't know for sure. It's a good thing if I make it to the KOA, I get to shower. Down there's the campsite and the water source. I'm like 0.2 away, I think. Pretty steep down. I'm glad I filled up with 3 liters and don't really need this water because it's not very nice. It's a lot of algae and stuff. I'm gonna fill up my empty water bottle with it anyways, just in case, but I don't think I'll need it. All right, I've soaked my shirt, which feels nice and cool and amazing. I know people from the East Coast, they can never understand that. They're like, no, why would you ever put water on yourself when it's hot? Well, in California, it's a dry heat, not a humid heat. So when your shirt is wet, that means that water evaporates instead of you needing to sweat and have that evaporate. So it helps a lot. Won't stay wet very long, but until then, it will help. 4 more miles to go. My Achilles is hurting, but it's not hurting at a level that I feel like I need to stop. Might just go a tiny bit slower. I don't feel like eating this at all, but in the heat, it's also important to eat something. Electrolytes aren't gonna do all the replacing of all the salts and stuff. Check out my friend Dirty Harry over there. Very scenic, standing on the saddle. It's 5 o'clock now with, I think, a little more than 2 miles to go, but we're finally getting the sun low enough in the sky that we're getting some shade, so it is significantly cooler now, which is nice. I'm wondering if that's the KOA right there or if it's somewhere else. Could be that though. All right, it is 5:30 and I am within 1 mile. At this rate, I'm gonna get there even earlier than anticipated. I was planning for around 6:30, and I'm gonna get in before 6. At this point, everything hurts, especially my Achilles, but it's not, I don't think it's in a way where I'm like hurting it. I think it's more of a just my body being like, what the heck are you doing? Why are you walking so much? And I think I'll be fine tomorrow. The nice thing is, you know, some people push just to push, and they'll do a big day just to do another big day the next day, etc., etc., or to get ahead of their schedule. I don't do that. I kind of have a set schedule, and if I get there earlier, that means I need to get more break time. So I needed to do 3 18-mile days to get to Agua Dulce. Instead, I did a 20 and then a 24, which means that tomorrow I get to Nero and I get to only do 10 miles into Agua Dulce, but I'm still staying at Agua Dulce, so I'm not doing a big day tomorrow. So that'll give me a chance to rest. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself. I mean, I'm within a mile, so at this point I've made it. Like, even it takes me 5 hours to get there, I'm getting there. But I think I'll get there in the next 20 minutes. But yeah, pretty proud of myself, and my body does hurt, but that's to be expected when you do this many miles. There it is, I'm so close. So many options for ice cream.
I mean, it's gonna happen in my life most likely. I've drank out of too many